You got to start when he's live.
Oh, I thought he did the
Because
wave.
otherwise
he
it
did the
just sounds
wave.
like we come in and go, oh.
Fantastic type in there.
Hello.
We're really good at this.
Commit. Fuck.
Welcome
It's
back.
him.
I did.
Apparently, I'm now Sir Humps.
Hello.
Oh, okay. Let me
This
fix that
fell
real fast.
apart real fast.
What happened? Oh
am the
my
Kibbles.
goodness.
Am I the
I
only
joined
one who's
in.
been in a barbershop quartet? God damn it.
I've
Well,
made
this
it
is-
worse. Okay, that's fine. Let me
It's a
just.
quintet. You set us up
Your
for
Sir
failure.
Humps, your Kibbles.
Fuck, it's true.
I had this right. I don't know how I.
Wait, who
Anyway,
am I?
right. Welcome back to the Zero Strategy Podcast,
Who
episode
am I?
12. I hope you're doing well today. Thank you for joining us. I am joined by my wonderful hosts, Cyber Project, Just Grog. Guys, it's an
Hello.
audio podcast, all right?
Hello, folks. It's
I
Grog
like to
here.
fucking wave if I want to. It's 2020.
We got the Mighty Kibbles,
Hi.
and we got Sir Humps,
Yo, what up? Sir Humps in the house.
and we got Java
Oh
Monkey.
no.
Hello there.
Oh no.
Hello
Oh,
there.
he's coming back.
So for people who may be new to the podcast, we always start off with a brief intro and a brief catch up with everyone and kind of find out what everyone's been up to this past week. I also want to say, if you are watching live in the stream, feel free to ask us any questions. Just make sure to at one of us or at the podcast, and we will try and get to any questions that you may have. First of all, Cyber, how has your last couple of weeks been? What have you been up to?
Been rough. I'm tired if you can't see all these bags under my eyes. But apart from that, I'm doing well. Moved the room, if you couldn't tell. Almost killed myself. Been doing a lot of YouTube stuff and a lot of streaming. Apart from that, loving Valorant still. That's gonna be the same rolling thing every week. Valorant, love it. Keep playing.
Absolutely, I'm the same. What about yourself, Grog? What have you been up to?
I've been kind of doing more of the same. I've been playing a lot of Warzone. Got some crazy plays in last night, as Josh can attest. So
Yes.
Sir Humps here. We got two wins last night, which is fucking wild. And I think they were like only 2 games apart from one another.
Yeah.
So that's been really fun. Playing a lot of Warzone. Hopefully today I will be playing Monster Prom later with Wolfie. So it should be fun. And yeah, just keep on keeping on.
Nice, good stuff. Kibbles, what have you been up to?
Just a lot of Warzone, and then I got killed by some hackers, and I got real upset about it. So I played some God of War instead.
You got a new camera though, right?
I did get a new camera.
If you can't tell.
And I can do this.
There's no situation on earth why you would want to do that, but I can do it.
beg your
I don't think the camera makes it. I don't think the camera makes that better. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
exactly. Otherwise, I'm just.
Can you do like a mukbang stream where you're just like eating and then every now and again it just like zooms in?
I can turn the gain up real high at the same time.
It's a mukbang, not ASMR.
Same at the same time. I'm an innovator. God.
Which we know Humps likes that, so I wouldn't, be careful. All right, and Humps, what have you been up to?
big chillin', brothers. I've been playing a lot of Warzone too, but I've been playing Destiny. I've actually swapped it up a little bit in Destiny. The last stream I did on Destiny, I did a comp help, and the first person that came in wanted comp help, we got them their Unbroken still, so it's pretty dope.
Oh,
That's good.
awesome, dude.
Heck yeah, staying away from trials. I can totally
Yeah, I
understand
think
that.
I'm taking a break from trials. Just my head is better without it.
This is the first weekend I've not touched any trials yet, so it's
Yeah, I
interesting.
Are you getting withdrawals from it?
No, not at all.
I
Java,
mean,
what
a
you been
little
up to?
bit, I don't know.
A lot of Valorant. Way too much Valorant. And Final Fantasy 14. Because that game's so good, I dragged Billy into it as well. And it's a
It didn't
blast.
take much.
I'm doing some
It was like,
Monster
"Do you
Hunter
wanna
too,
play
right?
Some Final Fantasy? Okay.
Yeah, let's just mention the words Final Fantasy and Billy was like, sign me up.
Yeah.
Where am I going? What server? And yeah, a little bit of Monster Hunter as well. Like just every time there's something new, just dipping my toes in that and being terrible. So,
Nice. Yeah, I mean, mine is much the same. I took a little bit of a break this week, a small break, just a couple of days off, which was definitely needed. But back on the Valorant grind now because I'm addicted to that game. And even the 2 days I was off, I was still playing Valorant off stream as well. So
I was gonna say.
I did a little bit. I needed my daily challenges, man. All right, just trying to
You
get.
gotta
out,
get that
it
XP,
done.
man. It's gotta
Absolutely.
keeps bringing you back.
All right, so first topic of the day is one that we want to talk about a little bit, and it is copyright and what copyright means for content creators and how we deal with it. All right. So obviously none of us are experts. We're not lawyers. We've not read. I'm not super familiar. Well, okay, Java's giving me a look like maybe he is a lawyer. I didn't know. But like I'm not an expert on copyright law. Put it that way. But I have my
Article 2, paragraph 3 says.
Okay. Java's kind of a lawyer, so he'll be the one to lead this conversation, I guess. Basically, I wanted to talk about it because I think it's something that's going to become more and more relevant and more important to content creation. I mean, we've had the whole Article 13 and Article 17, and a couple of us have had direct experiences with copyright claims and things. So who wants to jump in first of all and just give us an overview of what copyright is and how it kind of works?
Billy,
Does anybody
maybe.
definitively know how it impacts everybody though? Because it seems like everybody seems to pick and choose what they actually want to use in their arguments. It's insane.
Well, so I have a nice short little synopsis here. So copywriting basically means that only the person or entity that has created an original work can grant permission to someone else or copy it. So they themselves can continue to copy it, per a limited period of time, depending on the nation. Like some countries have different lengths of copyright, but basically for a set period of time, you have sole ownership of that thing and can challenge claims against other people who may be using that without having sought your permission. And in addition to that, the U.S. Copyright Office is similar. It says that literally means the right to copy, but has come to mean that body of exclusive rights granted by law to copyright owners for protection of their work. And really, it kind of revolves, I think, in the modern era around like being able to assign licensing, funding. Copyright holders can collect royalties when others use their copywritten work. There isn't necessarily this like hard and fast, only I can use it. It's like there are extenuating circumstances where others can use it, but obviously permissions have to be attached to it. And then there's agreements where those people are going to be compensated for the reuse of the work. And then, the terms on which those things can be recycled may depend on a contract that is not necessarily the same across every use case. So,
yeah. So, I mean,
cool stuff.
Yeah, it's
riveting.
But it's important. It really is. Sorry, go on.
Recently, I got one thing on Twitter, DMCA'd, right? And it was a TikTok video that wasn't even on the Twitter platform. It didn't have like any like previews or links or anything. Like I did it in a very specific way where I wanted somebody to click on that link to take them to my TikTok to like try and boost the engagement there. And somebody, I think it was, in fact, I wouldn't actually name the company, but they actually must have clicked on the Twitter link to go to TikTok and then copyrighted the Twitter link specifically. And they locked me out my entire Twitter until I went through like the 10-minute presentation or whatever it was, like read through it all. And I was like, for fuck's sake, it was literally, I woke up, it was like 8 a.m. or something like that, and I was looking at my phone going, I'm fucking locked out my Twitter. Like, what the fuck? It's crazy how much power these guys have to like instantly just like quickly tick a box, hit submit, and then you're locked out your Twitter account. And I actually went back, and it's not any of their music. It's a remix.
So it wasn't even for a video you posted on Twitter. It was a link that took you out of Twitter, but they still DMCA'd your Twitter.
Still
wow, I didn't know that.
No, that 100% makes sense.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the actual fuck? It's crazy how much power they have.
That is actually nuts. Yeah, I mean, obviously, again, people may or may not know that the same thing happened to me for a video that I posted multiple times during the course of a year where I was going live. I would post this little video that had some music in the background, and I got DMCA'd 20 to 30 times all at once, and they completely banned my Twitter because of it. I had the same thing where I got locked and I had to read their little presentation and then got back in, and then I got locked again, and then eventually it got banned completely. But I didn't realize it would hit you from tweets. So in theory, then, if you even just shared like a link to a YouTube video that had something in it, you could get a DMCA, which is kind of crazy, really. That's quite scary.
What annoyed me the most was the fact that technically that tweet had nothing that was copyrighted.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's absolutely asinine. The tweet itself, the content of that tweet had no copyright material unless they're copywriting a link, which they can't because it's your TikTok account. So it's not like they can copyright your TikTok account. If anything, maybe they might have some sort of leg to stand on the actual TikTok video itself, but I assume that's fine.
But then,
Right,
but
your-
then
your TikTok-
arguably
yeah,
they
your
would be
TikTok.
they should be getting at you through TikTok. Like you
Right.
should be
Exactly.
contacted through that, and then that would be a separate dispute with you and the DMCA through TikTok saying, okay, well, there was a remix that was used. It was not an original piece, or it was a remix of original piece, but like I wasn't aware or whatever, and like that would be its whole separate thing. They're basically extending their claim beyond the boundaries of another platform.
It's
The only way I
interesting
can see that they
because-
would do that is if like the copywriting rules of TikTok and Twitter were like TikTok was like less stringent or something. They didn't necessarily, you know what I mean? Like maybe their rules are a little
like a loophole.
lighter. So they're like, well, I don't want to deal with the TikTok. Maybe I can.
It's- Well, that's the
Twitter
thing is that
just
they're
ban him or
the
something.
copyright law extends, per like each nation has its own copyright law and or observes the copyright laws of other nations. So it's not even so much like Twitter kind of being flexible on like it's more about like the flexibility of their enforcement, like how much do they want to aggressively pursue users over it. And any platform, I guess, could be more or less aggressive. Like, Twitch right now, to touch on streaming, their take on dealing with potential copyright threat is simply to mute a portion of a VOD. They can't control what happens live, and to some sense that like is appropriate, because you figure if I have my windows open and there's a car riding down the street, which living in the city sometimes there are, people are just blasting a song, you could clearly hear it come over my microphone. If there's incidental music in the background that's just bleeding through live, that can't be helped by a creator. Obviously there's people who are using Spotify in real time, and that's a whole separate kettle of fish on its own. But basically they mute their VODs, which basically they're washing their hands of it. They're saying, we know that stuff is happening live. We can't necessarily account for validating whether it was or wasn't intentional live, unless somebody flags, a channel, which is kind of extreme given the circumstances. So to that end, it's like they're proactive, but also lax in their enforcement. Proactive in that, well, they know that they can avoid future issues and lawsuit if something is scanned in the audio track. They just mute it. It like lessens the likelihood that it'll be pursued later. Whereas
Which kind
these
of
other companies, they
it doesn't
really
make any sense to me
going for it.
because like Spotify, anyone can have Spotify. Anyone go download it, and you can have access to literally every single song that you might be listening on any one of our streams.
Yeah,
anyone, and they're like, oh, copyright it, or they mute it. Like, I mean, I get that they're covering their ass with the mute, but it still doesn't make any sense because it's like, no one's using it my VOD to. Well, I'm gonna rip that song off of it. You know what I mean? Like that's not happening. Who's doing that?
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
guess it's more the fact that if you're live and you're listening to music that was made by someone else, but you're gaining subs or ad revenue, then you're effectively profiting using part
I mean,
of
I
their...
paid for Spotify, so I already paid for that shit.
But you pay
Only-
for the right to listen,
but
not the right to license
the viewers
music.
have,
music.
but the
Stop.
the viewers haven't paid for it. That's therein lies the issue, is that it's the
Oh.
consumer on the other end. So that even if I have a paid Spotify
But they don't
account,
have to pay for it though. They can just download Spotify themselves.
But the thing is, Spotify isn't used for commercial use. Like, it's built within the T's and C's that you
Yeah, I
can only consume
know.
it. So, like, let's assume that there was a commercial price. Let's say it was £100 a month or $100 a month. Your viewers could technically listen from that, but because it's not meant for commercial use. That's why Twitch is like completely muting everything. But the thing that happened to me, I wasn't even that mad that they actually strike the channel. You come to expect it nowadays. Everyone's gonna try and make money, but it was the fact that they went through a Twitter link to get to a TikTok that technically nothing happened on, because that specific link had no copyrighted material anyway. So let's assume they took down that tweet. I could just upload it again.
But then
And that
I'm
would
curious,
get another strike on me.
what if you'd like, so essentially it's almost like in their mind they're thinking, well, I know you're saying it's not, but let's say they're saying, well, this TikTok has content that we own in it, so we're going to strike this guy's Twitter because for whatever reason they've decided not to strike your TikTok. What if you'd shared a TikTok that wasn't your account? You shared a TikTok from someone else. Would they still strike your Twitter when somebody else made the video? Like, it's... The thing is, I don't know how familiar you guys are with TikTok, but I mean, it's just every single TikTok has music, more or less, right? And most of the time, it's just straight up half a song or whatever, right? And I feel like I do sometimes see old TikToks that maybe I've liked a couple of weeks ago. If I go back to find them, sometimes they're muted. So the video's still there, but there's no audio because there was a claim. But I feel like it's not happening very much on TikTok. People are still getting away with posting. And the nature of TikTok with it being so quick is you make a video, the first 24 hours or whatever, it's, you know, if it blows up, it blows up. It doesn't matter if they mute it later because that video's already had its reach, you know? So it is interesting, and I feel like TikTok's still a bit of the Wild West with copyright. And I haven't heard any instances of people getting claimed, although it seems that they are being muted in some cases. A few of my old ones have got muted that I've had music in, so, but I never got a notification or anything. It's very interesting.
I don't understand how TikTok manages to actually get away with it.
I think it's mostly got to fall under fair use, right? Like if it's transformative and in a parody sense, like that's probably how they're going to try and push through most of it.
Connie's
And
just
unfortunately,
fuming
Yeah,
right now.
I do get what you're saying, but
don't care about fair use,
That's
which is-
like it is a very broad area with fair use, like very broad, and people will push it to try and get away with things that really aren't fair use.
yeah.
While like other times it's like, well, you know what, you've taken an aspect of something that is copyrighted material in a transformative way. You've either provided commentary on it, analysis on it, used it as an example in some larger thing, or it's a parody. But it's a very sort of gray area in
Mine
that
definitely
discussion.
wasn't fair use. It was just me highlighting 2 flick shots that I got on someone's head.
And well, I was just gonna say, like, Java's points are perfect, and it is a gray area, but it's so strange that, like, they, I don't know, like if fair use makes sense in respect to like recycling bits of material, but insofar as like why one company decided to go out of its way to go through and strike a claim through another platform, that I think like that in itself is just like bizarre, because like where do they even have the grounds to do that? Like,
And
in
how
a
was
lot of
it-
these things they usually don't. It's just that most people won't fight it, so they just
Oh, I'm fighting
see
it.
what they can get away with.
But you see the support team that Twitter has, no offense to them, but it's shit. Like
Agreed.
the opening argument that I had was essentially like, look, everything within their claim is wrong. Here's why. And then I got like a message back basically saying, well, they've said that it's their material. It's like, okay, but I've given you
The
all
link
this
is not their
evidence to
material.
tell you. Well, let's assume that everything within that link was theirs. Like I literally just had me just going like this at the camera, and it was the music playing in the background. Completely not fair use or anything. It's not their material, but the actual Twitter staff are saying, well, they're saying it is. It's like, I know, but I'm giving you all this evidence to tell you that it's not, and I'm getting nowhere. So there's
Yeah.
a permanent strike on my account.
They were the exact same
Can't
with
get
me.
it removed.
When I tried to do it, exact same situation. They said to me the only way to unban my Twitter was to reach out to the copyright holder and get them to release just one of the strikes, and I would get my account back. Obviously, I reached out to them, but they could not care less. Please,
Yeah,
Mr.
they don't
Big
give a shit.
Company, can I have my Twitter back? Like, they don't care. You know, they're like, I never got any response. It's It's tough, and I feel like it is important to say that copyright is a good thing. The actual law of it makes sense. If you are someone who creates music or movies or something like that, copyright is there to protect you. The problem is when companies or people abuse the system, right? Which is something that's known on YouTube, is like a big thing on YouTube. That's why you see all these big YouTubers will never really use copyright music. I mean, there was that thing a while ago, I think, where Mr. Beast sung a song and they got a claim for it. You know?
Oh, did he not? hum it
That
or
blows
something
my
like that?
mind too.
They
Like,
hummed it or
you
something
can't
like
even
that.
like hum it.
Yeah, and they got a claim for it. And it's obviously for a big YouTuber, they're losing their revenue in that case, because a copyright strike can be a few different things. I mean, in terms of YouTube, you can have the claim, which is where they say, hey, your video's fine. You can still have your video up, but we're taking all the revenue for it. Which, like, in most cases for a small YouTuber, like for myself, for example, fine. My YouTube channel's not monetized anyway, so my video stays up. Like, we uploaded to the group channel and immediately got claimed because we had copyright stuff in there. But that doesn't affect us because we're not making any money on a YouTube channel. So as long as the video doesn't get blocked, it's fine. But I have had instances where I've uploaded a video and they've said, hey, this is just being straight up blocked. It's not allowed in this country, this country, this country. And they'll just block it in everywhere except one or two places in the world, which is obviously, that affects smaller channels much more. But the problem is that it seems to be so easy to do these claims. I think there was a case on Twitch recently as well, where somebody was just making bogus DMCA claims, and Twitch's response is to immediately ban the person because they have to investigate it. So people are abusing that system. That's the issue. It's not the actual copyright itself.
It's the only way that they can keep from being liable for those types of situations. If they just squash it, then they're clear.
Exactly.
Unfortunately for everybody else, but it makes sense for them.
My channel for YouTube isn't. I haven't uploaded in quite some time, and it was not really designed, like you said, to be geared for monetization. But I got hit with a bunch of claims, and this was after I went well out of my way to acquire and utilize music and videos that was under Creative Commons, which is an alternative to sort of sanctioned like federal copyright law. Basically, Creative Commons has different layers of permission. So basically, from the very beginning, if an individual or an entity says, okay, well, this is a Creative Commons copyright with these strings attached. Some of them mean that you're free to do anything you want with it. Some of them means that you can use it in a non-commercial setting. Some of them means you can remaster it, but you can't like make money on the final copy. Some you can do anything. For me, what I did was I went well out of my way to acquire music, both for the beginning of the stream as well as for music for my videos, through a company that had a good track record. They had a good Creative Commons platform. Basically, you could use it as long as you provided attribution. So in the description of the YouTube video or somewhere on your Twitch page or anywhere, you just have to simply link back to their page and credit them as the source from which you got the material. And it couldn't be simpler the way that they had set it up. The problem was this. What I later came to find out was, after getting several strikes on videos, was that the individual musicians or person in their bedroom, whoever made the music, like, they sourced it out to this company. They may have done it. I don't know if they got money for it or not, but they added their money. They added their music to this catalog. The catalog itself, again, is Creative Commons with attribution. And what they then did was they also, outside of that, went and sold it to other catalogs as well that were not fair use or Creative Commons centric. So then what happened was I was getting tagged by not the company that I got it from, because I was doing what they asked of me, but the performer had been unscrupulous and gone out of their way to resell their content into a different catalog. And then that other company was hitting me with claims. I reached back to the original company that I got it from, and they said, yeah, here's the boilerplate response that you should use to dispute it. They're in the wrong. We'll be, trying to address, their presence within our catalog. But it's just like, it happened a fuck ton. Like, it
Yeah.
happened a ton of times where I was getting hit with claims when I had done everything right, because the performer had listed it under different song catalogs, and those people then went after me, and they were very spurious claims. Like and some of them weren't even for tracks that like I was using. They were just like by the same performer, but a different track that I guess was similar to the one that was in the other catalog. So
Yeah,
it's just,
I get you.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that
It's
sucks
almost like an
because
algorithm.
yeah.
We're
Yeah,
picking
well,
up,
well,
maybe?
that's I mean that's what Twitch like. I mean Twitch. I think there's I don't remember the names offhand, but there's two major audio algorithms that companies license to just scan media to find this stuff. And yeah, it's just a computer listening, and then it just pings the individual. So I think it's kind of like you almost set up like an eBay alert, like or a Google alert. Like anytime your thing gets a hit, you can be notified by it.
Yeah.
So that's what they do.
Yeah, and it, like you say, particularly what sucks there is that you went out your way to to make sure that you were covered, and it still came back to bite you, which really
Yeah.
sucks. It's a very hard area, and it's a very difficult thing to get right. If we were to, because I mean, again, obviously, my fear was I in the space of half an hour, I went from having a Twitter account which I'd had for years to having to start all over again from the beginning, which kind of put the fear of God into me. And that's why I personally decided just, okay, I'm going to try and be as smart as I can with copyright. To move it to like a sort of Twitch perspective, how often do you guys click on streams and have popular music playing in the background?
Every day.
Quite a lot,
Like
actually.
every day.
I would say almost every stream, almost every channel that is like actively playing music as a adjunct to the game music or an adjunct to the activity. Yeah. Some of it it's like the stuff you recognize, and then obviously like I know kind of you use Pretzel, which is like all non-copywritten music, free to use, that sort of thing. So you won't get those DCMA claims. But in that, like if I pop into your channel, I'm just like, I don't recognize the song. It's got a bit of a beat, but like I don't know what it is. But there's plenty of ones where you go in and it's just like, oh, that's Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Yeah, like anytime I stream.
Yeah.
Because I play Spotify. I don't care.
So
I don't
this
care.
is the interesting thing is that Twitch does still seem to be a bit of an exception to the rule, and like you say, it's because it's live. You can't always control what's happening directly, and I feel like if somebody like I don't know if the algorithm is going to be able to be smart enough to pick up live music that's happening there and then and strike you when it's live because they have no proof, right? This is why Twitch mutes the VODs, because then if somebody wanted to go back and claim it, they go to the VOD, it's muted. So you can't hear it, you can't do anything. And I think for a lot of people, they think, well, I'm protected, right? Because while I'm live, I'm not going to get a strike, and then it's going to be muted in the VOD so they can't hear me, right? Which does make sense, right? It does. But I think people are getting wise to this fact, and people are starting to be a bit smarter about it. I mean, I see still sometimes like Tim the Tatman, if he's in his Just Chatting, someone will link him a YouTube video and it's like a new band or a new song from a popular band, and he'll open it up and he'll listen to a couple minutes on stream. And it's like, if people aren't watching him and claiming him, then, it's fine. I can get away with it. But I am trying to think ahead. And like Grog said, I kind of moved over to all copyright-free music because, again, with someone like Tim and a big streamer, and this has happened, you'll get a copyright strike for a song that was played or something like that. They'll get a few days ban and they'll be back. My fear is that as a smaller channel, it'll be bye-bye. Like, your channel's gone, you don't get to come back again, and you have to start all over. And for people like us that have been working on our channels for a long time, that's a pretty scary thought. Again, I think 99% of the time, you're probably fine. It's even technically, if you were to get a claim, I think it would probably still default to a temporary ban, like 24-hour, 3-day. I'm not sure. I don't think Twitch would permaban, but like I've seen people be permabanned for crazy things on Twitch. Small people that I know that are just banned straight up. So my thinking is get ahead of the game, don't get caught out, because it'll only take one person and you think maybe that won't be me. Well, I used to say when someone gets banned for listening to music on stream, then I'll stop. But I just know my luck, it'll be me that gets banned. And the Twitter, when that went, I was like, yeah, I'm okay, need to be careful. But I mean, there's other advantages for me, like I can upload my stuff to YouTube. It doesn't get claimed on YouTube anymore if I use music from stream. What are your guys' thoughts on it? What do you think? Do you think that is going to become a bigger issue on Twitch?
I think it
No.
will.
Debate. Let's go.
I think it will, given time. I think as tools advance and as like soft AIs become more and more robust, I think that we could start to see it happen more regularly as it's able to detect things in real time. I think it's possible, because if you look at what's the there's a name for the technology where you basically spoof someone's video. The famous example was they took President Obama and basically made him say stuff.
Like a deep fake?
Okay.
Deep fake.
Yeah.
The AI, and I've watched a couple deep fake examples where some of these were done in real time, where basically they had set up a maquette, like a little CGI like version of the celebrity or the person, and then had another individual in real time just swing a microphone down and start talking, and with a little bit of lag it's able to start to keep up. I think as technology continues to shift, maybe not next year, maybe not the year after that, but I think we will see it happen. I think there will be a real-time evaluation on platforms where those claims could be coming minutes, if not hours, afterwards, and they could be based off live content. I don't think it'll be soon, but I think it will happen.
Mm-hmm. My thinking of it is that we see it so rife on YouTube. Like we mentioned, big creators are terrified of claims, and I can't tell you how many times I see a video will get uploaded and I'll add it to my watch later playlist, and then I'll go back and it's been deleted and re-uploaded because it got claimed, and they've just cut whatever it was and re-uploaded it again. A lot of these people are absolutely terrified because companies know how much reach YouTube has and how much potential they have to go in and claim that stuff, right? The companies know that. And I think particularly with the rise of live streaming, because it is getting more and more popular, more and more mainstream, I think the whole Ninja explosion might have brought that forward as well. Companies are starting to take notice of it. And I bet you anything that these big companies are just sitting there trying to work out a way to monetize just the free reign that's happening on Twitch right now.
Oh,
I guarantee it. Because it's an opportunity for them to make money from doing nothing, And I'm not saying, again, I think copyright is a good thing, and when it works, it's a good thing. But I think that there are these companies that will just try and get again, they claimed our group channel videos, and our group channel is not monetized, so it doesn't get ads. However, because they claimed it, what will happen is somebody watching it might have to watch an ad, and that money's going to go to them. Now, how much are they possibly making off of our group channel, which has, it's not a big channel by any means, but it's obviously automated.
Don't lie, it's massive. We have a legion. Our fans are legion.
Right.
You gotta look after the pennies though.
Subs.
#0fam.
It's just, my point is that they have a way to just automate just making money off of basically doing nothing. They made their thing, they own the copyright, and they can just rake in money from that. And I really truly believe that they are doing their best to get involved with Twitch and probably Mixer and all sorts of other things at the same time. I don't know how YouTube does it, because I assume YouTube live streaming, you can't claim, like I assume when you live stream on YouTube, I mean, it uploads the whole thing as a VOD on YouTube, so I guess the system works that way.
So the processing power of an algorithm, it needs currently, because Grog hit the nail on the head, it currently needs to be offline because it needs to scan the full thing from start to finish, and then it'll pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
So if we were live, that means that it either needs to do it every minute to try and pick up what it's just heard, or it needs to wait until we're finished. Bless you. Bless you. And then, so you either need to do it every minute, or you need to wait until they're finished before it can scan the entire thing. Otherwise, the processing power of every single streamer, and it needs to do it constantly, it's
Yeah.
not feasible right now. It's
Yeah.
really not. If they can make that smarter, then they can do it. But right now, Twitch is not gonna give like full reign to all these people to try and like use up like the entire Twitch server like resources just to try and cooperate somebody. But if they make it smarter, like Grog said, it will happen in real time.
Yeah,
It's gonna have to.
yeah, I agree.
Because like they're doing it right now. Like the companies are giving them the algorithm to basically say, it picked up your music. Do you want to like do a strike on it? Like it's automatic, like Grog said. But if they can do it in real time, that's when I think you'll see a lot of creators just completely shying away from it, like you and me have. Like I don't use copyrighted music on mine because I'm terrified. I really am.
Yeah.
And I guess the one thing that stands out in the conversation for me, and I'd like to echo what Candia said, is that copyright is not a bad thing. It really isn't. I can give a really sort of nice, like good feeling example of how copyright can be awesome. We have this economic downturn right now. Everyone across the world is getting hit in the wallet right now. And my uncle, who's a musician, is one of them. And my uncle, everybody knows somebody who like dabbles in music, but he's done pretty good. He had he did not all of, but most of the music for Ken Burns's National Park series. And so what happened was that faded from the limelight. PBS recently picked that stuff up, started rebroadcasting it. All of his music for the year has been canceled. He can't go and do any performances because obviously it's live. There's a pandemic on. He basically, that is his sole means of living. And as anyone who pursues the career in the arts knows, that like making a living off of the arts is really fucking hard.
Mhm.
And so basically he was like, okay, well, I'm gonna be fucked for the rest of this year, or maybe even into next year. Turns out PBS starts recycling and re-showing this stuff. He gets cut a check for $70,000 because they are re-showing all of this stuff. And he, as per the contract that he signed with Ken Burns, was guaranteed a portion of the rights for when the stuff gets re-aired. And it was his music that he worked on. He created original pieces for the program. And that is, I'm not trying to humble brag that my uncle's real cool, because he is, but like it's one of these things where he is, I mean, I can vouch for him. I mean, granted, he's my uncle, but like he's a nice guy. He works really hard. He's spent more than 30 years working in the music industry, and he's labored over this. This is his passion, and it's the only means of income for him. And so this will see him through what is otherwise a tough time. He is not Beyonce. He is not like a massive, personality. If I said his name, it wouldn't even matter, who he is, because nobody would recognize it. Al Petaway.
Oh, no
Peace.
shit.
No, but it's just one of those things where like copyright does have a purpose. It should be able to protect the work of individuals who this is their, it's not just a hobby, but it is their way of survival. And for a lot of us aspiring to make streaming a larger part of our life, or to make it part of our income, it's important for us too. I guess the only thing is like, I wanna shit on copyright just as much as anybody else in terms of like, oh well, I too pay for Spotify. I too will listen to Spotify in the background on a stream. Like I realize that I'm dabbling in murky waters there. It is just complicated. I do think that like massive, record labels and corporations are overreaching. I think the instance that Cyber got involved in was completely unfair. I don't know. It's like it. I guess I wouldn't want anyone watching or listening to like for the takeaway to be like copyright's bullshit and we should get rid of it, because
Agreed.
it does have a purpose, as Condi mentioned.
Agreed. And what you're saying is it's the unfair side of it Like initially when my Twitter got banned, I was like, yeah, cool. I used a song that I didn't own the rights to. That's fair. The way they implemented it, I don't feel was fair.
Was
but,
unfair. Yeah.
There was no way you just said yeah, cool. It was like shit. No.
you know, like it's fine. I'm past
Hell
caring
yeah,
now.
bad boy
Yeah.
Condi.
Well, the-
at it again.
I mean, the
You know,
intervention
just
was
like a rebel,
problematic.
you know. But yes, it's the problem of people using it unfairly, and we've seen it over and over and over again over the years. And you know, I still think that it is coming. I think it's the elephant in the room almost with Twitch, and I feel like it's something that I wanted to be ahead of. I am not saying to you right now, if you stream and you listen to music on Spotify while you're streaming, that you need to do anything about it, because honestly, I don't know. I can't see the future, and I think you're probably going to be fine. I think the people that are going to get hit first are the big channels, but I am saying that maybe it would be smart to just think ahead and make the switch, because I used to have song requests right through, you know, Spotify or whatever, or YouTube, where people could request anything they wanted to listen to in the stream, and it was great. It was a good way of, you know, getting people involved, and
interaction, all
yeah,
that.
but ultimately I decided to make that cut so that I didn't have to stress. And I think talking about, you know, what resources are available, the one I recommend right now that I've been using, I don't know if anyone else has got anything else, but I've been using a player called Pretzel. And Pretzel is sort of like Spotify, but all the music is copyright free. Now I don't know what the extent of that is, like obviously Grog, where he had his situation with what he thought was safe music, but I will say, since I've been using Pretzel, there's a lot of good music on there. There's a lot of not so good, but there is a lot of good music on there, and I don't feel like the quality of the music is a problem. Like I've made a playlist of stuff I like. I change it every so often, and it works nicely for me. I've not had a single muted VOD, and I've not had a single claim on anything I've used on YouTube, so it works great for me. And I think that we should be looking at it. I mean, if anyone's familiar with Harris Heller or Alpha Gaming, he recently made Stream Beats, which was a fantastic business move from him as well, because he's making money on every stream of that. You know, so when people are listening to it on Pretzel or on Spotify or whatever, he's still claiming money from that, but he's not claiming anybody. He's not claiming anyone's channels. He's just making the stream revenue of it, which is very, very smart, and was a great move. But it's good for content creators as well, because that's music that you know you can safely use and have no issues with.
See, my big issue, I was using a bunch of royalty-free things on Spotify for like EDM, and the only downside to that was that then Spotify thought I only wanted to listen to that. So all I would recommend is, it's like, if I'm not streaming, I don't want to hear this, please. Got rid of all my good things. It only took like 3 weeks of that, and it's like I can't listen to any of this.
Yeah, I get it. I tell you what, their real moneymaker is. You got to have a really good, popular Christmas song. Then you're set for life with the copyright royalties.
Oh,
yeah.
for sure.
You're
Yeah,
set for
we
life.
should look into that.
I've got an accordion.
Zero strategy Christmas. Let's go.
Oh my god, Java, don't even fuck
Wait,
with me.
actually,
Don't even
hold
fuck
on.
with me.
We're making an
There we go. I
album.
know you got it. I know you got it. There you go.
We're ready.
He's already ready.
For listeners at home, Java has dressed as Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yep. I have a prop box down here. Just
But yeah, so I think Pretzel. Does anyone use anything else for, you know, music for the streams? Any other suggestions?
Spotify for me.
Spotify.
It's
Spotify.
like royalty-free playlists.
I use, like,
Spotify-
Not royalty free.
Spotify for me currently, there is there's Monster Cat, which is a resource through Spotify that people could use. Again, it's going to be more sort of EDM dub, you know, electronic kind of music.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like their whole thing is they'll do artist highlights where it'll be a Spotify playlist that is only that artist. So basically, you're just getting, you know, this is the artist, this is their album, you know, and that it is available to use in streaming, and it won't be hit with a claim. But otherwise, all of Monster Cat stuff is like, this is for people to use in the background while they're doing Twitch or Mixer or Facebook gaming or YouTube live gaming or whatever it may be. And it's pretty cool. They have their own web presence, so you can search for Monster Cat online. You can also find like hundreds of hours of music on Spotify itself, and they will seasonally tend to release like these mixes. So it'll be like, here's 20 tracks, and they're based around a theme, or here's 20 tracks, and like, it's the next anthology in some series. So that's an option, but it's not very diverse. Again, like as happened with Kibbles, like it's a very narrow lane. It's going to be one set type of music. If that's not what you want to be listening to on stream or repping on stream, then obviously it's not going to be a
Yeah.
good pick. But
See, the only issue that I have with the whole copyright thing, and it happened recently, Kibbles was playing Kill Switch, right, in his stream, and I was just playing Final Fantasy in the background, completely lurking. I physically heard the song. I stopped what I was doing and I started interacting with his chat.
Yeah.
Like it stops the creativity, I feel. Like you spend so much time trying to like insulate your stream so that like no one can affect it. But I mean, how many people would request songs in your stream when like you used to do it, Condi?
Yeah.
I'm assuming a few, and then it would spark conversation like, "Oh, that's a great song," and
Yeah.
but
People
I feel
liked it.
now
Mm-hmm.
it just seems to completely stop the creativity completely.
I was actually about to change subjects, but I've just thought of basically this whole time we've talked about music, and the copyright, we should say, doesn't just pertain to music. And I think this is actually interesting because if you think about it, the sort of the video game industry has switched on to content creators and streamers and things like that, because I mean technically I don't own the rights to any game that I play, but I'm going to stream it, and then as an affiliate I might get subs or I might get donations, and I'm using their game to do that. Now most developers are going to turn around and say, yeah, please stream our game, because they know that it is free promotions, free advertising. In a lot of cases developers will pay streamers to play their game, but there has been times when, I mean, I don't know if you remember the whole PewDiePie thing years ago when he said the bad word, and the developer of the game Firewatch DMCA claimed because he played my game, so I'm DMCA claiming him, which technically I suppose he's in his right to do, except on this website there was a whole thing where it actually said, we give you permission to stream this, but that's beside the point. Like the point is that we don't own the copyright to these games that we're playing, and streamers and YouTubers don't own it, and they're making money on it. But the game industry knows this is good promotion for us. We need this now because there's so many eyes on YouTube and Twitch and Mixer and whatever.
So much eyes.
Yeah.
Like, as a game development company, you can cut down your marketing and advertising budget hugely by just letting people stream your game.
Mhm.
And like give some content creators early access codes, get some hype out there. Like, for the most part.
Yeah, look at Valorant. Valorant's a great
Mhm.
example. I haven't seen an advert on TV for Valorant. I haven't seen YouTube ads for Valorant. Maybe there is, but I haven't seen them.
What?
I've seen like one. I've
Okay.
seen one.
My exposure to Valorant was just streamers are playing it, and it's just blown up. Right? It's insane, and I don't know if the music industry will ever follow suit with that. What is interesting, without naming names, I opened up a stream just randomly the other day, and they were in their starting soon in their intro, and they started playing a scene from the movie Transformers with their own music over in the background. And I was like, this is an interesting intro, but it kept going and kept going and kept going. And then I was like, I've been watching the Transformers movie for 15 minutes on Twitch on this guy's channel, and I'm not exaggerating, 15 minutes. And I was like, this is strange, and I wonder if that would ever be hit with a copyright strike, because that's just like, that's another, you don't see that as much on Twitch obviously.
Mhm.
But I mean,
Well,
that
like restreaming movies on Twitch is like a big no. Like, they've set up their
Yeah.
movie nights thing, which I assume they've done some kind of licensing agreement
through
with
Prime,
Amazon.
yeah.
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 They do.
If
it
you
through
just slap a
their own
movie
app.
on your stream, like, that's
You're asking
music
for
aside,
it.
that's where you're gonna get hit with acclaim, easy peasy.
It's just interesting, and like I say, I don't. The film industry obviously is outside of specific deals with Amazon Prime and things. I don't think that's ever going to happen with stuff being on stream. I mean, they had the Thursday Night Football where they had a few streamers streaming that, which is cool, and that's moving in that direction. But I don't see the music industry ever being like, yeah, promote our stuff. Like,
I mean, even
I-
it can be like that with games too. It depends. Like if there's like a big event, like Call of Duty, they had like this was I think sometime last year. A buddy I know, he streams. He's a big COD streamer, and he wanted to stream this big COD event. And I think the first time he did, he got a strike on it, and he just emailed him. It was actually kind of, he says, a really chill interaction with the whoever he was dealing with. He's like, yeah, he's like, I just kind of want to stream it. He's like, the guy was like, oh, that's fine. He was like, you just can't advertise anything else. Like you have to take all your overlays off, and he just gave him a list of things he had to do, and like you can't have just nothing on there except your camera and our stuff. Like that was it. And then he's like, if you do that, he's like, we'll release the strike and you're good to go. And he did that, and it was fine.
Interesting. Yeah.
I think it's a topic that we'll probably keep cycling back to in future episodes. I imagine it's a thing that is never really going to die down, because right now, in the last like 20 years, but really mostly in the last 10, we have globally shifted to like a remix like culture. Like, I mean, pop culture is very heavily built upon remix memes and in jokes and references. Like that's kind of how the world operates, both in terms of like official advertising. I mean, think of how many times you'll see like an ad where it takes a jab at a topical issue that just happened, Geico or Old Spice or something. Like a thing happens and they riff on it.
Yeah.
It's that aspect I don't see going away anytime soon, because it's kind of culturally embedded right now. And it's in our social media platforms in terms of how we communicate, like Twitter and Facebook and whatnot. You see all of these, like it's like, what was it? I feel like every platform has these little aphorisms of the day, where it's like somebody takes like a stock photo or a picture of a Disney character and just puts like some kind of lame like aspirational quote on it, like a motivational poster of sorts. And it's just like, that shit's everywhere. Like, I mean, copyright is being violated not just on an hourly basis, but like second to second. It's happening all over. But it's the intent that matters, and I think that it's a lot of it's just gonna be murky, because right now we are a remix culture.
Yeah. I mean, on that note, Facebook is an absolute nightmare for that kind of stuff. From what I've seen and from what I've heard, people repost videos on Facebook and just rake in money, and Facebook seems to have no interest in claiming anything like that. On the other hand of that, I did see that some of the Stream Beats music was being claimed on Facebook Gaming, on the live stream stuff, which is wild, because Facebook doesn't seem to give a single shit about copyright, yet they're claiming streams, which is interesting. Like you say, it is going to be something that we're going to have to keep coming back onto over and over, probably. And I'm personally always keeping up with are people being banned for claims for these kind of things, because it's interesting to me, and I'm waiting for the day when they really strike hard and a bunch of people get in trouble for it. I think it will happen.
There's too many of us for them to get us all.
Well, true. I mean, I don't want to take the risk.
That's not how it works.
But yeah, I mean, I think bottom line, if you're concerned about it, look into the possibility of copyright free. I don't think any of us can ever be 100%. I mean, I have sound clips on my soundboard that are like 5 seconds of a song that I don't know if they can claim me for that because it's so short. But like, there's always something that could potentially hit you. So it's just about trying to be smart, trying to stay ahead of the game, and just keeping yourself right so that you don't end up suffering for it.
And to play it excessively safe, we all zoom in on our faces, remove any glasses because those are brands. We don't make any noise, so nothing can be construed as like a cover of some song, and we just sit there.
Yep, that's it.
You just music in the background. I'm gonna copyright you right
now. All right. Well, I mean, unless anyone else has anything else on copyright, we've got a couple other quick things we could talk about. Nope.
No, I mean,
I think we're good.
I think it's one of these things where we could literally talk it to death, but it's not going to change anything.
Yeah, true. Just be smart.
Very elusive.
Well, the next thing I want to talk about, in kind of relation to being smart, is the thing going around YouTube right now, which I don't know exactly how much of this is true or exactly what is happening, but from what I'm hearing, and take this with a pinch of salt because it's still, I just don't know, right? But what I'm hearing is this new sort of hack that's going around YouTube, and I've seen a couple videos on it. I've been following it a little bit on Twitter. Basically, the story is that there is a channel who has some kind of bot that is posting comments on small streamers' chats, and the comment is always along the lines of, "Hey, do you want to be friends?" And I've heard rumors that you click on this or you interact with this comment and it can lead to you losing your account and this person supposedly hacking the account. And the sort of, I guess what people are saying is because of COVID and everything right now, it's potentially YouTube have less moderation. They've got less people to be active on these sorts of things. And personally, I have had comments on some of my videos saying, "Hey, want to be friends?" which I just wrote off as, well, this is a bot. I'm not going to interact with it at all. But I had people message me saying, "Hey, be careful about this." I went and researched it, saw a few videos, saw some things on Twitter. It seems like, it seems a little scary, but I don't know how much of this is just scaremongering, clickbait. I'm not too sure. But I guess just if you make YouTube content, be aware of that. I have seen it firsthand, people leaving comments saying want to be friends. They look like bots. So I guess just be careful of that, because supposedly they can hack your account and do bad stuff with it.
I personally think it's an urban legend. No one how
Like Monkey Boy.
Did you not watch the video? Did you not watch the video?
I did, but
It's not an urban legend. I mean, yes, the video, the guy that made that video, he made it very like,
Spooky, scary.
yeah. I mean, he kind of like overdid it a little bit, but I mean,
Like I say, the issue for me is that I've literally had those comments on my videos. And I know it's a bot because they're posting it the second I publish the video. That comment's there, "Hey, want to be friends?" That's not how a normal person talks. So I immediately was like, "Oh, that's a bot," right?
I say that all the time.
Well, okay, but
Yeah.
like, what I mean is like it just immediately looked like a bot to me, so I didn't do anything with it. But like I say,
I think that part's true.
yeah,
I genuinely think that it is a bot, but like the video that you linked, it was very like Hollywoodized. Like it was almost like if you subscribe to them and reply to their comment, it'll instantly hack you. It doesn't work like that. Like somebody needs to
Oh,
choose
it
to
doesn't.
hack you.
It doesn't.
Like, your
Cyber
face
really.
gray-beamed, okay.
However,
it
I
just
think
seemed
I think something
make sense.
important to note is that you absolutely need to enable two-factor authentication on
Mhm.
everything you
Yeah,
have
for
if
sure.
you're doing content
But
creation, because you're a target.
according to
Like,
the video though,
Yep.
it gets around it.
yeah,
Well,
that's not true.
Which,
See,
like,
I have had a YouTube account hacked in the past. So
but somebody chose to do
you
that.
know, well, the thing is
No,
that
all
mine
he
was
did, he clicked subscribe because he wanted some friends.
maybe. See, in my experience of it was years ago when it was like mostly used for, we posted banned videos and stuff on there. But I had literally a Google notification saying, "Hey, suspicious activity on your account. You should change your password." So I did that, and then immediately tried to go to my YouTube channel, and they said, "Hey, you're not allowed in here anymore. This account's blocked." And all the support that I tried to reach out just said, "You violated our terms of service on this YouTube channel, so you've been banned." And I did nothing. Somebody got into my account and did it. So obviously I'm just hyper aware of these things now, having lost a Twitter and now lost a YouTube channel. Like I'm super aware of this, and I don't know. The fact that somebody reached out to me to tell me about this, somebody that I kind of trust knows his stuff, and then the fact that I've went and researched and there's a lot of people talking about it, just makes me think, particularly with the comments on my own videos as well, be safe out there. Be careful. Definitely have
Make strong
two-factor.
passwords.
Yeah,
Make strong passwords.
exactly. Just
It's
have
easy.
it
Yeah,
worth
people,
saying.
people are like, I've got so many different passwords. That's fine. Just have
Mhm.
either. I use a notepad. I use the oh my gosh, on the
Yeah.
on the computer, the notepad app.
The computer.
Yeah, and on my phone, I just have a notepad. You can actually have a physical notepad and just write them down. I mean, I like the one
Yeah.
on the computer because I just have all my passwords on a notepad and I just
And
copy paste them for wherever they're
Your
supposed
way
to be
is way
to.
easier than mine. I have them
Yeah.
tattooed on the
Oh.
inside.
Like
Use the
score
mirror.
That
it.
seems that doesn't seem very easy.
I know
That
it's not
seems-
easy, but
So I just have to
You
kidnap
actually have
you.
it
Sure.
tattooed right
who
here.
is looking inside of my ass?
So you went,
Not very many people.
you went full Memento on this. I love it. I mean, I think at the end
So
of the
that's
day,
what those words were.
I mean, at the end of the day, it just comes down to being smart and being, just being sort of like street smart about how you navigate the web, and it's like phishing is real, you know, and people will try to trick anyone, you know, through like suggestive means or through duplicitous means to try and get you to click a thing that you shouldn't, or download a file that you shouldn't, or even click onto like a link for a picture that, you know, may not actually be a picture but may, you know, be like an embedded file.
So that
you know,
email
within
saying
that.
Sir Humps nudes, I shouldn't have clicked on that.
No, and
Wait, what?
and
DM them
Kibbles,
till you don't want
Kibbles,
Yours
the
is-
Nigerian
yours is in
prince
the-
who just
yours is in
needs
the
you to
electronic
deposit
mail.
some money into his account. Like that's not real either.
Okay, okay.
Um,
It's not.
Like you'll learn it the hard way
Tell
when
them
you're
don't
doing
rat
like
me out, Grog.
What were you saying,
See-
Java?
you'll learn things the hard way where you're like gonna go raid with some buds, some new stuff's coming out. One of them sends you a picture of a cat. You click on it, and he's just like, "I'll see you next time." Off you go.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring it up just in case because you know, it's something that I was aware of, and you know, people need to make sure that these things are looked after and secure, because I've seen people be hacked on all kinds of different places, and I mean,
People being hacked. You know what I mean? People be hacking.
yeah, dude. I mean, there was somebody I was following on Twitter the other day whose
Words of
Steam
wisdom
account got
from
hacked,
Gandalf here.
and yeah, just it's scary. It's a scary prospect.
The future is terrifying.
So the last thing I want to talk about a little bit today is around chat topics and conversations during a stream, and where we would consider drawing a line, perhaps if you know, if you've ever had a stream where your chat maybe goes down a path that you're not really comfortable with. You know, what kind of things do you think is not acceptable, and what do you maybe do to change the subject? How do you handle that if that ever happens?
There was that time my chat got really heavy into dark magic.
All right. Okay.
Were
Okay.
you okay with it? Did you move the topic on?
Not publicly, I'm not
No,
okay
no.
with it.
Publicly,
Your Honor.
it's. I mean, I've had times where my chat have just started, like, they formed a cult one time and just started spamming
Oh yeah.
to Cthulhu.
Cthulhu.
That
Oh
was
my
pretty
God.
weird. Like, but I guess more like, yeah, what topics we would each consider to be off limits. Like, so chat's just saying here, like, politics. I
That's
am.
always.
I don't like talking politics in my stream. I get that some people might be into that, but for me personally, that's somewhere I don't want to go usually.
Well, yeah, I mean, aside from the fact that, like, obviously politics is a very polarizing subject, blah 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 blah. It's like, that's not why I'm streaming. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not, I'm not streaming
Exactly,
to
yeah.
give you
Unless
my
you're, like,
my
Destiny
input on who
or-
I think is cool or not cool or who I agree with. I'm here to like play games and get shot. You know what I mean? Like that's and just hang out. I'm not here for that. I think that's a starting point of where you need to be, of like where you kind of want chat to be at, is understanding what are you there to do, and if it's not there to get spicy topics going, then cut those out.
Like
For sure.
100%. I usually have the mindset with it where, Twitch is an escape. It's a place to relax, to get away from the seriousness of the world. If any conversation is going to take away from that relaxation environment, I'm not going to like shoot it down harshly, but I might say, hey, this is probably not the place for it. Because I mean, everyone likes their chats about politics, the latest drama
Yeah.
in the world or whatever. But at the end of the day, at least for myself, I want to be in an environment where it's just take your mind off those things.
Mhm.
Let's talk about games. Let's talk about memes, silly stuff. Like, let's just wind it back a bit and not be concerned about that here.
For
So,
sure.
as you say, like,
I-
trying to create that culture and environment. Sorry,
Mhm.
go ahead.
No, you're good. I agree with all the above, and I think like to add on to that, for me, like sometimes there may not be a topic that's taboo or necessarily like sort of supercharged in terms of like its volatility, but like if things are just overplayed or tired, or it's just like like sometimes it might even be within the context of a game. Like Destiny's going through a rough patch right now. I haven't been streaming Destiny in a while, but like I've definitely been in a position before where sometimes I'm just like, you know what, I don't want to talk about the negative today. Where like I don't want to focus in on this one topic, because I feel like either it's a thing that I've already done to death in the channel, or it's a thing that I already did to death for like the last hour, or it's a thing that the entire community has kind of been on about for like the last week. And it's just one of those things where sometimes even the topic itself is safe, there's nothing wrong with it, but maybe you've just really you've reached the limit of of having meaningful conversation about it, and now you're just recycling and regurgitating the same ideas over and over, and you're kind of beating the proverbial dead horse. And at that point, I'm just sometimes ready to, like, yeah, let's move on. Like that could be a reason too for a topic that isn't even risque, just to be like, let's put that to bed, let's move on to something else, just to keep things fresh, and like so that both the viewers and yourself like feel motivated and engaged to like want to keep talking about it, and it doesn't become this like toxic. Because I've just dropped into some channels to watch, and people, the streamers and chat are on the same page about something, but they're just venting, and it just becomes like this really, it's not, I would not say toxic, but it becomes this like really weird place to be as a viewer, just coming in if you don't know what you're in for, and you're looking to just hang out and watch something. If your first impression is to come in and everyone's just shitting on a topic, it doesn't even have to be the game that's being played, but like it's just a real bad vibes, then like that might just turn people away. And for me, that also might be a reason to just shift gears.
Yeah, absolutely. So someone brings up a question in chat saying, what point do we sort of draw the line with self-promotion? Which is something that is constantly happening on Twitch. So for me personally, I'm actually a bit more lax on self-promotion in my channel. And I've come to this realization recently, where we kind of, so I've tried to have sort of monthly meetings with my mods to just chat about what we think is going on, what can we do better, what do we need to watch out for. And during one of those conversations, it kind of hit me that like we run this podcast where we talk about growing on Twitch, and we talk about getting better at content creation and all these things, and hints and tips and things we do. So I feel like it would be super hypocritical of me to just shut someone down if they say like, oh hey, I had a really good stream yesterday, and go, hey, self-promotion, go away. Like, I feel like that would be hypocritical of me to do. So my line for self-promotion, honestly, is if it's somebody I know, fine. Come in, talk about your stream. That's great. I want to hear about it, right? If it's somebody I don't know that comes in and says, hey, watch me, I'm live, I'm better than this ginger idiot, then obviously, I'm going to immediately end my stream and host him.
I'm going to go follow them.
I'm going to go worship at the altar of their stream.
Yeah, right. But like, I think there's a limit. And honestly, at the point, if someone tries to be sneaky about it, and there's the classic, okay, man, I'm going to go stream now, see you later, and it's like, it's not cool, but at the same time, like, I'm not going to be mad or upset about it, because that's kind of, I want to talk about Twitch and I want to talk about streaming. So for me, I'm very lax on it, which I didn't used to be. I used to be very, very much like, any self-promotion, get them timed out. It's not allowed here. That being said, I don't want people just coming in and just posting their own links constantly, but I'm happy to talk about it if people want to talk about it.
The thing is, we've kind of touched on this before. If somebody posts a link in someone else's chat, it's very unlikely that you're actually going to click on that link and go and like actually watch their channel. But if you know them and the part of your community, it's better, in my opinion, to pick them up genuinely and be like, that's amazing, dude. Like, how was your stream? Like, how was the game? Rather than just completely shutting it down. Like you say, no self-promotion, get the fuck out of here. I think you have to think of it as a double-edged sword. You either allow them to promote in your own channel, or you completely shut that down and you shut the conversation down. So it's like, which one do you go with? It's kind of the lesser of the evils.
This might sound harsh, but I know Twitch is Twitch and the internet's the internet, but it just comes down to basic social skills, right? Like, it is just like a little bit of social etiquette goes a long way.
Yep.
I think if you just drop into someone's chat and post your link, like, what do you think you're doing? Like, that's like, I don't know.
It's like you're
in
being
any
on
other
stage
business.
performing, and someone just comes
Yeah.
up there and be like, "Hey,
They start handing
I'm
out their
down
album.
I'm on down the street. That's where I'm heading out right now. I'll
Yeah.
see you. See y'all
Just
later,
go up on
fam."
stage, start throwing out your album. But like, my view is, especially if it's people I know, I have no qualms at all. Like, Twitch is a community, other content creators, we all get to know each other. If you're hyped about your stream, if you've had something great happen, I want to hear about it. I want to hear about what you've been up to on stream. I want to discuss that shared passion we all have. If it's someone newer, maybe like someone's come into my stream who's new, and they're a streamer as well. I might not know they're a streamer, but if we start having like they introduce themselves, having a conversation, and they bring it up in what is just like what feels like a natural way, it's never going to be like, hey, no self promotion, get that out of here. I think it just comes down to social grace and a bit of tact, really, at the end of the day.
I think for me, it's much more like, so I have a few thoughts on it. First of all, like people like most of you guys, when we first met, it wasn't hey man, I also stream, we should do stuff together. It wasn't. It was built on an actual friendship first.
Sure.
You know, and honestly, I think that's the best way of doing it. Like,
Well, you clicked that link that I posted asking if you wanted to be my friend, and I was so happy that someone finally clicked on it instead of avoiding it.
Okay. The point is, I think like if you're building a genuine friendship with someone, it's much smarter, in my opinion, to just be friends with that person first and foremost, and then eventually, you know, maybe host them one day or something like that. And then it's like, oh, okay, I didn't realize this person was a streamer. I can't tell you how many people that I've seen in my chat, they'll maybe follow me on Twitter, I follow them back, and then one day I see a going live post from them, and I'm like, oh shit, like I know this person. Why am I not following them? I'm gonna go hang out in the stream. That's a much better way of doing it. And honestly, that is, I think, how, as I say, how I met most of you guys, if not everyone. And the thing is as well, with regards to talking about Twitch and stuff, like if any of you guys, for example, were in my stream, I want to ask about your stream. I want to sort of promote you. I want to go, hey, can we get a shout out for Java, please? Because I like his content and I want you guys to check him out as well. Because you know what? A rising tide lifts all boats. Everybody succeeds if we all help each other. That's my way of thinking. On the opposite hand to that, what does kind of drive me insane, and to answer the question in chat, what point do you get annoyed with people? It's not so much an annoyance thing, but it is just still when you're playing with someone, you're both streaming, and they're not muting to talk to chat is a little frustrating for most people to deal with. And that can also be a bit of a self-promo thing sometimes if you don't necessarily know the other person is live. A lot of times we set up ahead of time and say like, oh, we're both going to stream. Or if somebody's already streaming and I'm going to jump in a game, I might shoot them a message and be like, hey, do you mind if I go live at the same time? And just have that communication. I think that's what it comes down to for me, with self-promo stuff. But it's like, I think it was Java said, it's the social cues, and it's doing it in a meaningful way. Particularly if you find another stream and you think, I like this streamer, I want to make content with this streamer, maybe stream together one day, approach it from being friends with that person first, being a part of their community, and then build on it from there, I think is the best way.
And to follow up, sorry, you go ahead.
No, go Java.
I was gonna say, just a quick follow up. I mean, as you said as well about hosting people, great example. If you don't have the time, or you're maybe feeling nervous as a streamer to go into another streamer's chat and introduce yourself first that way, hosting someone's a great way to meet. Like, just finish up your stream, open up the directory, look through recommended channels or the directory, find someone maybe similar size community, whatever, who you don't know, and think, hey, I'm just gonna host out to them. I'm gonna go check out their stream and see what it's about. And in that little window after you streamed and you've just ended stream and hosted, get to know them there. It's also a good way to introduce without forcing the subject just by appearing in their chat. Go share your community with them and take a leap. It's always a risk with Twitch. You never know. You might host into someone who you really don't mesh with or gel with well, but it is an opportunity to make that leap, to find another content creator and introduce yourself that way.
Yeah, I think everyone's made really good points, and I think Java in particular, when you mentioned that there's a balance, and for me, I would agree. I think there's a balance. I think there's a time and a place. I've been personally like really supportive of people who have been new to the channel, that have, when the first words out of their mouth are not, hey, I stream too, but like later, you know, as the conversation evolves and like, you know, it becomes clear that they're either dropping a hint or like I just ask them straight up, like, you know, do you stream, or like, you know, have you considered that? I've had a couple new viewers in my channel recently who, you know, are streaming. They are, you know, starting to get their stuff off the ground, and I've been very encouraging, you know, of them, and I've asked them questions of their channel. What do they like? What struggles are they having? Because like, as Candy said, I want to know more about what other people are doing, because I'm also a small streamer. That said, when people have come in and just like very clearly, like, you know, they I don't know, like they come in and they cheer with bits, and then the message in the bits is like highly suggestive that they're a streamer, or like they're, doing a thing that, their first if your first impulse is to come in and then lead with that, it can feel a bit strange. It's kind of like walking to a room with your fly unzipped, like, and you know that it's unzipped. You're just kind of like, do you know that you're just like crashing the presence of this whole chat right now with like,
Bro,
um,
your dick's hanging out.
yeah, you're you're really
freeballing.
out there,
Your
huh?
streamer peens rocking out.
Well, because
And
it comes across
it's
like you're trying to
dream
leech.
Oh yeah, well,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
it just is
Yeah.
rude. I mean, it would be to the effect of, if you were at, say, a wedding or a dinner party or wherever where people are congregating in pairs or threes or something, and then like people are actively engaged in a conversation, doing a thing and enjoying themselves, and then literally if you just like slid like and pushed people aside and be like, yeah, so what's up, my name's Craig, and you're just like, who the fuck is Craig?
Fuck
Like, what is this
Craig.
about? And he's like,
dick.
and he just hands you a card. This is like, Craig, TTV, and you're just like, we were just fucking talking about like gardening and like going to a movie. Like, what are you doing? Like, it's rude, and
Yeah.
it's knowing when there's a time and a place. And some people will do it tactfully, and some people won't. And some people will do it wrong the first time, and then they will be rebuffed or rebuked, and then they'll maybe fix themselves. Like some people need. I think some people do need to have a little bit of pushback when it does feel inappropriate, because otherwise it does not afford them the opportunity to learn, hey, this is not the time or place. But that, I don't know that should always be the immediate gut reaction, is just push back, be like, fuck you, like, no promotion.
Yeah.
I do think there is a definite balance. And some people are just going to be socially awkward.
The thing is, a lot of people won't know as well. There's still
Yeah.
new people coming to
We're
Twitch
all
every day.
seasoned.
Yeah, right. And you have to have that little bit
Salty,
of
yeah.
that little bit of sense. Like I had
Very
a
salty.
couple of people knew recently that came into stream, and they were saying like, oh, this is like one of the first streams I've ever been in, and they were talking about, I recently started streaming. And they don't know. They're new to Twitch. Like, and I'm not going to be the guy that immediately goes, mods, can we just ban out this person? Because they don't know,
Get
right?
him out.
But like at the same
them
time,
away.
it's kind of, it's awkward to have that conversation, particularly with someone new, and be like, hey, so like that's not really a very cool thing to do. So like to me, it's like they'll learn quickly, like, because some channels will not tolerate it. As long as it's not
personally started like that, yeah, you learn quick.
yeah, it's as long as it's. I also say if it's, as long as it's not gross, as long as it's not, Craig sliding in, Craig, as we would say.
Fucking Craig. Asshole.
As long as it's not that person just sliding in and completely trying to, because it does seem like, hey, you have viewers, I want those viewers, come watch me. Like, that's just, people worked hard to get viewers most of the time. It's the same thing with viewbotting, right? It's trying to take shortcuts. It doesn't work. Stop doing it,
But I think if you watch any of the how to build your Twitch in 10 easy steps, one of the first things is networking, but there's a right way of going about it. Networking is just posting your link and saying, come watch me. It doesn't work, and we all know this. But that narrative is force-fed to every new streamer, so I understand why they do it. It's just the right way and a wrong way of dealing with it.
It's about as effective as somebody going to like the local copy center, running off a bunch of Xeroxes for like their car washing service and leaving it under the windshield wiper of every car on the block. Like, no, just no. Like, like people are gonna pick that up and throw it away because it's not meaningful engagement. Like maybe you'll get a person, but like it just feels so tactless. And especially on a platform where everything is built around personality and being, social. Like this is all about communal interaction, social interaction. If you are already struggling with social interaction and you're gonna make some missteps as a result, as we all do, at all points in our life, like it's gonna show quickly. And like, I mean, we've all made these mistakes. It's just, how quickly do you learn from it? How quickly do you realize like this is or isn't sort of a best practice? I don't know.
Yeah.
I would say we were talking about self-promoting, but one thing that I did want to touch on in terms of like taboo topics or things that we want to avoid in the channel. If there's ever been a topic, obviously religion and politics is one of the things where people, be it radio, be it live TV, be it whatever, like often that's just like sort of off the table, just because it keeps you clear of a lot of like difficult pitfalls. If there's ever any other topic that doesn't fall under these sort of obvious, but it's a thing that you don't want to talk about or feel comfortable talking about, obviously you have two choices. You could either just kind of let it slide and just talk around it, or you could call it out directly and be like, we're not going to talk about that. Like, I don't feel comfortable with that. A third thing is if there's been things that are on the cusp of like, I'm not sure if I feel comfortable talking about this or not, but like it's not gone to the point where I'm upset or I think it's going to hurt anybody. Sometimes I've just waited for the moment to pass and for the stream to end, and then reach out to the individual or individuals afterwards to be like, hey, I'd like to just kind of break down like the discussion today and just be like, these are my thoughts on it. I just want you to know, and I wanted to do it in a way that didn't single you out or cause like any sort of drama. But by the by, this is just like a thing that like I just don't want to talk about on stream.
Yeah.
And that's been effective for me. And I think that has worked. But I mean, I also know other people, and I've watched other channels and just been a passive viewer where somebody says a thing that's inflammatory, trying to stir the pot, and people have been like, we're not going to talk about that here. We're going to move on. And if you continue to exacerbate this, like, we'll just give you timeout.
Sometimes you got to use your dad voice.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it kind of goes. It's a throwback to
baby.
kind of what we talked about last episode, where kind of the being honest to yourself about how I don't remember the specific title of the podcast, but basically what we did, how how to grow viewership and stuff is just being honest, and that translates into this type of thing to where like if you know what you kind of want to be about, you need to either you stick with that sort of thing. So if there's chats going on and there's topics being brought up that you don't want to necessarily be a part of, like whether it's politics, religion, whatever it is, and you kind of wherever you draw your line, whether it's a big line, thin line, whatever it is, the gray areas and stuff, wherever that is for you, just stick with it. Don't be afraid to be, it's your stream. I mean, if you know what I mean. So it's like if people are bringing stuff, just tell them like, hey, we're not gonna talk about that. And they want to argue about it, like, hey, go somewhere else then. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need that shit in my chat. I don't know. That's just kind of how I go about it. I mean, I don't come
Using your
across
dad
it
voice.
that often. I wouldn't say that I'm like, get the fuck out of my chat, you little bitch. And like, I'm not like that or anything. But like,
You've said that
just
exact
don't
same
be-
thing to me.
Well, that's because he knows you.
But I mean, it's just be who you are, and don't be afraid to be who you are and to say what you want to say, because I mean, at the end of the day, it's your stream, it's your channel, and just don't be afraid to step up the plate, I guess.
100%. And mods can help with that too. If you make it clear to mods like, hey, these are topics I'm not really comfortable with, and it doesn't have to be done in a necessarily calling someone out midstream. You can just wham, change the subject to something else. It's not always easy to do, but sometimes you can just completely throw a curveball at chat and completely just switch it and go another way. I've had experiences with people saying, certain words I didn't really like, and it's not necessarily a word that, is immediately like bannable or anything like that. But if someone says, like using certain diseases to describe video games, right? I'm not okay with that, and I've had people in the past say, oh, this game is, right, whatever word. And I'd be like, you know what? Please don't talk like that. I don't like that word. Like, that's not a cool way of doing things. It's just, and people will be like, okay, didn't realize, my bad, won't do it again. Been fine since then. They just have to know what's acceptable and what's not in your channel a lot of the time, because different people from different places are going to talk differently, right? And
Yep.
Words that you might not approve of or not like aren't necessarily going to be the same for everyone. Is basically it. So, like Humps was saying, I almost called you polar there. That was weird. I feel like I've got so good at like remembering, but so like Humps was saying, it's being true to yourself, and if you're not comfortable, don't be afraid to say, because it won't necessarily drive people away. I think people are scared that you're going to scare someone off that's like a viewer. Like, I need the viewers, so you can't. I
Yeah.
don't want you to leave. A lot of the time, it won't. If you put it forward in a nice way and just explain, hey, I don't like that. Can we talk about something else or whatever? A lot of the time, people are cool with that. You know, it's you got to run it how you want to run it.
And it's not something that it's not necessarily something easy too, because like I may sometimes come off like it might be easy, like I say like it's easy, like oh yeah, fuck off type of thing. Like it happened probably about a month ago. Someone that both these people that were in the chat, like I know that they've been in the chat a little bit, but I didn't think that they knew each other, and something was said, and it threw me it threw me off so much to where like I didn't know what to do. Like it wasn't like so bad to where you're like, oh, get this person out of here. But because like what was said, I can see myself saying to someone I knew, but the fact that I was pretty sure they didn't know each other, and it was said to one of the others as a joke, but it threw me off, and I was just like, and I didn't handle it like I just said you should handle it. You know what I mean? Like just because like it's a learned it's something you have to just get more comfortable. You have to be more comfortable being yourself, which because especially nowadays it's so hard to be comfortable with who you are, because you're just trying to the whole social media aspect of everything and just trying to impress and like, you know, this is who I am. Like it's really hard to just be like who you are, and it's just something you have to get more comfortable, and like more experiences like that are obviously going to help. Unfortunately, you have to kind of experience stuff like that for it to get better at it.
It's like a
True.
life
But-
lesson.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it is, and it's
It's always a learning
know.
experience.
yeah, for sure.
I mean, like I said, I think I told the story previously about a viewer I had who was just super argumentative. They never said anything that was directly bannable. They never really crossed a line, but they always sort of ran right on the line and just literally would come to start arguments with other people in chat. And I wish I'd clocked onto it quicker, but I eventually had to ban that person, and then their true colors really came out and they became very nasty. But it was like, as soon as I hit that ban button and I saw the reaction, I was like, why have I been putting up with this person for a month? You know, I knew from the moment they came in that this person was going to be a problem, but I didn't want to be that guy that's like, oh, I don't like that comment you said, you're getting banned. Because it wasn't like a particularly inflammatory comment. It just, they like to start these arguments. So you have to just learn from these things, right? And it's not something that not a mistake I'll make again. But like you say, we all have to kind of go through it. It's part of the job description. Do we have any other thoughts, or are we getting ready to wrap up here?
I think that's us.
Mm.
I do have to poop soon, so.
All right, well, I'll take that as that. So, yeah, thank you very much.
Because I'm smart.
Thank you very much for listening, everybody.
Drink a lot of coffee during it, okay?
We are going to sign off. Please stick around. We're going to quickly sign off, and we're going to find somebody to go and raid. So first of all, Cyber, where can people find you on the internet, and what have you got coming up? What you want to plug?
People can find me on all platforms: Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all the Cyber Project. This week I am hopefully gonna be playing a little bit more Final Fantasy on stream. Whether or not I can like try and rope some people in, like Jabba. And
Sign me up, let's go, boy.
I think that's gonna be a heavy focus. Plus Valorant. I want to get better at Valorant, so that needs to be done. And then I'm gonna change my room around again because you know I'm a fucking idiot.
I feel you. I do it all the time.
If it's not
I
stream
would, but there's
overlays, then
nothing
it's your whole office. Just always got to be changing something. All right, and Grog, where can people find you?
So you can find me on Twitch and YouTube at just_grog, and on Twitter at gamer_grog. Later today, I'm going to be doing Monster Prom with my buddy Wolfie, and maybe a little bit of the new Apex season. I think this week I'll be doing more Warzone. Believe it or not, I'm only a couple years shy of 40, and I had never played a Call of Duty game until Warzone, ever. Never played Call of Duty. And a good friend of mine was very kind and gifted me like one of the older Call of Duty Modern Warfares, like I think 4. So I'm actually going to go back into some earlier parts of the franchise and maybe play through the campaign on stream. I don't know the story. I don't really know like I'd like to get back to the roots of it, and actually I think that'll be really fun. So that'll be a
It's
thing that
definitely
I'll
worth
probably
it.
explore. Yeah.
It's really good.
Awesome. Cool. Java, same question.
You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at JavaMonkey with an underscore at the end because branding is hard. Don't change your usernames ever. You can find me on YouTube at JavaMonkey. I will be playing a lot of Valorant. I'll be playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14. If you want to watch someone spend almost 4 hours on a wild goose chase to buy a house in a video game and then fail, I'm your guy. And also we do some Monster Hunter, and I've got some Destiny stuff. I'm actually reinstalling it, and I've got some stuff lined up in the near future for that as well. So that should be pretty interesting. But yeah, you'll find me in those places. I'm scuffed, but shenanigans.
Awesome. Thank you. Humps.
I am Sir Humps. You may find me on the Twitters at Sir Humps _, Twitch and Instagram at Sir Humps. What it do? I'm gonna be doing some more. I really liked the comp help, and I think that's kind of where I'm gonna be leaning towards in Destiny more. Will be PvP helps to get people things they may want or not want, but that's probably what I'll be doing, and with a little bit of Warzone sprinkled in there as well. So that's where you can find me.
Nice. Thank you. And Kibbles.
Yeah, so you can find me at The Mighty Kibbles on Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. I don't post there much. But you can find me on Twitter at The Mighty Kibbles. And on YouTube, I just posted a video yesterday. I'm going to start doing weekly uploads on Saturdays, getting in that groove. And I'm going to be playing a little bit of God of War, Overwatch, because there's a new event coming out and I need to get them skins, and then sprinkle in some Warzone. Once the
Sprinkling,
salt has left my body just a little bit.
a little bit of Warzone.
That guy named I Love My Hacks really got to me.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Blatant
Came out of the
hacking
gulag.
and a blatant
split
name
second.
to go with it.
It's like, yeah, no, okay.
All right, awesome. And I'm Condifly. You find me Twitch, YouTube, at Condifly, Twitter, Condifly with 2 Y's. And yeah, I posted a video yesterday as well. So make sure and check that out. I'm still at such a loss with streams. I'm enjoying Valorant. I kind of want to play some Apex this week. If you'll have me, maybe Grog, I'd like to jump into some games.
I could get some. I can buy some Apex.
Yeah, and maybe some.
Yeah.
I'd be around to help with some comp stuff as well, Humps. So I'm sure we'll get games in.
No, we want to help
with all
people.
you gentlemen. Okay,
You know what I mean?
okay. But yes, most importantly, you can find the podcast all kinds of places. We have a Twitter at Zero Strategy Pod. I think the most important place right now to check the podcast is our YouTube channel. We've been uploading some content on there. Why is the command not working in live
content.
chat? Okay.
Mint.
We've been experimenting with some group videos. We have another one in the works that you'll see at some point in the future. And yeah, we appreciate all the support on those videos. We hope you like them, and we'll keep doing them as much as we can. I don't know what the command is, so you're just gonna have to work it out. If you're listening to this on any of the audio platforms, do make sure and find us on Twitch, twitch.tv/Zero Strategy Podcast. Oh, I know why I'm doing this wrong. There's the link. Okay. I wasn't typing in chat. There you go. That's the problem. Yeah, thank you very much for listening. We will see you hopefully next week. And we're going to go raid someone, so stick around for that. Thank you very much. See you guys next time.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.